Hey everybody, Dina Eisenberg here of SpeakUpPowerfully.com, serial entrepreneur, big co-working fan, and the creator of the Women of Co-working Chronicles. Today I am so delighted to have with me Barbara Sprenger, and I'm going to let you tell let her tell you a little bit more about herself. I was happy to find Barbara as part of the co-working wiki, and you all know that I'm a big enthusiast and I'm doing the research for my space, and so I'm always looking for new resources. And I reached out and looked at the wiki and found all kinds of great things. Barbara must have answered or said something on the listserv, and I was like, a woman owner, I have to talk to her. And so she was so generous that she said yes right away to having this conversation. So let me just say hi, Barbara.
Hi, how are you, Dina?
I'm good. I think it's my first day with a new tongue, so you gotta work with me.
Oh my goodness.
So tell me a little bit about your space. Where are you located, by the way?
We have 4 sites up now.
Okay.
We have 2 in Santa Cruz County in California, 1 in Santa Monica, and then 1 over the hill in the Silicon Valley area in Los Gatos. But the main thing we're focusing on right now is we developed a web-based software for managing spaces like this.
Oh.
And so that's kind of turning into a major focus for us now. We got some other people using it.
Well, that's cool. I want to ask you about that, but first I want to just say the name of your space. It's the satellite, right?
Yeah. So we're the satellite Los Gatos, the satellite Santa Monica, satellite Scotts Valley, and in little tiny Felton up in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Ooh, you just gave me an idea about my name. I've been sort of going back and forth about what name, and it seems to me like an important decision. And so I've been using the Hacienda as my working title, but now I'm thinking maybe I'll switch to the Beacon. I kind of like that. The Beacon.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of reminiscent because I came from Boston before I moved to Oakland, so Beacon Hill was one of my first homes. Anyway, tell me a little bit more about the software.
Well, we have a name. It's DeskWorks.
DeskWorks.
Satellite's DeskWorks. And it very, everybody who uses it just says it's so simple, but really comprehensive. We've just signed with another women-owned co-working space. I don't know if you've talked to the people at HeraHub yet.
Oh my gosh, I got to talk to Felina. She was like one of my first interviews. She's great.
Yeah. So they're now using our software for running all their sites as they start to build out their franchise. But what it lets you do, it just automates the entire process. It connects to an access system, if you have one or not, or you can enter stuff.
Okay.
Full reservation, all the reporting you might want.
Wow.
Proper income accounting, member communications. So frequently people get into this and they don't really have a good sense of what normal business processes are, or normal business accounting.
Yeah.
Well, this then automatically flows into QuickBooks, so you don't have to manually sit there and do all the stuff in QuickBooks.
FreshBooks too, I hope.
Well, you know what? There's only one report that's needed to connect, so I can't imagine it would be any different. But if somebody needed it for FreshBooks, so we set it up for FreshBooks.
Very cool. So what key problem does it solve for the space owner that really people are loving?
Typically, when you're a space owner, you're dealing with lots of little tiny numbers and lots of different members. This one, because of how we work, because we've done this whole system for automating this kind of an environment. So we're actually automated at the satellite from you scan in at the door. Okay, I mean a scan. We can use any RFID system or any kind of scan system.
And that's the card system, right?
Yeah, well, we're using newer systems now that give us cards, fobs, or I just have a button on the back of my cell phone.
Go on with you.
Yeah, so it's really easy.
Wow.
So then that tracks the usage through into our web app, compares it to whatever kind of plan you have, and then automatically bills.
Whoa.
So if you're the owner, you can do what you really want to do. You can hang out with people.
Yes.
Okay. And then the other thing is, you sometimes want to know, okay, what am I selling? What am I not selling? What's working?
Yep.
so you can quickly, this is in real time, all the reporting of all your members, every dollar earned, who owes you what. I mean, all of it. And then it automatically bills. So it's all of that stuff is pretty nice.
Wow.
I guess I wanted to say one other thing on this, that no. Let's just go on. Your next question.
Okay, that's fine, because I was sort of fascinated. I haven't quite gotten to the point where I'm thinking about the software systems to run my center. And so you really put that bug in my ear to think about, wow, that's something I have to think about. And maybe now I don't have to think about it at all. I'll just get your software.
Can just help. We can help train people, help set up the kind of plans they want. You don't have to worry about it, because we've already thought about those pieces. I know what I wanted to tell you. All of this let us do, because we started in a very small town.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. Like you said, it was a small town and it was a little rough starting. And so how did that come about?
Well, that came about because it's where I live. And what it made us do is absolutely think about how you can maximize income and really make this work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you can make it in a small town, you can make it anywhere. And then when we got to Santa Monica, I mean, it was dead easy. Where do you live?
I'm in Oakland, and so I'm in a good place to have this kind of facility, because there are lots of entrepreneurs in Oakland, artistic folks, creatives. There's plenty of boomers. My space is going to be focused on women of a certain age, maybe baby boomer age, who
I'm one.
There you go. Who are coming back to work or transitioning and want to have what I call a like home but better space.
Exactly. I worked from home. I drove the hill over into the Silicon Valley for about 12 years.
Yeah.
And then I worked from home for about 12 years. And it gets old. It's hard to just keep the momentum up when you're doing that.
Yeah.
For you, it would be great once you get that one rolling to move on over into Alameda.
Yes, you're right.
That's a real need over there as well.
There you go. Well, I'm going to put that on my list now, Barbara. Thanks for the advice.
So part of what the thing that I had forgotten to mention before, so by doing it like this, we have a lot of people who are consultants or therapists or whatever, who they're happy working at home, but they want a place to meet clients.
Yeah.
So with our system, we're able to do something like a bucket of hours plan, so that they can, you scan in at the office door, you scan out when you leave, flows right the way through to billing, you don't have to do it.
Right.
So the other thing that this lets you do is it lets you be open 24/7.
Yeah.
So our sites are all available to people unstaffed outside working hours. And that's a really big deal in terms of being able to, maximize what you can make per square foot as we're trying to get into smaller spaces.
And are you finding that people are actually taking advantage of the late night access?
Oh, God, yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, somebody will meet a client at 7 to 8 or something like that.
Okay.
I come in on Saturday or Sunday into Felton, and I'll see, all kinds of people working together at different stations. The other thing that we felt was important was we're not totally a co-working space. I mean, if you think we're not, in fact, we didn't go to Juicy for a couple of years because we didn't think we were pure enough.
I haven't been to Juicy.
It turned out great. We have private offices, conference rooms, workstations, or cubes, if you want to call them. And we have a lot of people who want those different kinds of spaces.
Yeah.
And we also you need to be able to easily track if they have a 5-day a month or a 12-day a month or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can have any of those different kinds of plans. Especially, and the other thing I'm very proud of them with what we've done is our members are any age from 12 to 70 something. And we're 50-50 men and women. So, and you probably have seen this, that typically co-work spaces are 30-year-old guys.
Yeah, more men.
Yeah.
More men.
So I don't think you need to target one or the other. The unifying thread is location. people have chosen to live in a particular area,
Yeah.
and that's how they,
That's the
what,
most important thing to them, right? The
yeah,
location and proximity to home, I guess.
yeah, yeah. Although we get it surprisingly, even in Felton. I mean, do you know where that is?
No idea.
Oh, have you heard of the San Lorenzo Valley?
Yeah.
You probably heard of San Lorenzo, not San Lorenzo.
Yeah. So you're in the San Lorenzo Valley?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's like this little string along the river in the mountains between Santa Cruz and nothing, I guess. San Francisco, really. It
I
parallels
almost moved
Highway
to
7.
Santa Cruz, so that's where I know where Santa Cruz is. So I kind
Ah,
of know where you're at.
okay, okay. So we're up Highway 9. It's one community all along Highway 9.
I loved Santa Cruz, beautiful, but driving in and out, I thought I would lose my mind. So
Oh,
it was not for me.
oh. See, and I don't think Highway 17 is anything. I drive it in my sleep. So
You
I
brave
should
woman.
admit that.
Yeah, you're brave woman. For folks who are like me, starting their journey in co-working, what are three things that you would say absolutely you got to pay attention to?
Location, location, location.
Oh, what a surprise!
Yeah, yeah. For us, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
we think it's really satellites are built near coffee, lunch, and drinks.
Mm-hmm.
We consider it very important to be part of a walkable community and a vibrant town core.
Yeah.
And so we look for places that have all of that close so that people can work where they want to be during the day. You know?
Yeah.
And, it's not, we don't put them in the kind of environment, like the big office park buildings with nothing around, where you can't walk to anything.
Yeah. It's really a toss-up about the two kinds of spaces because, in my past, I was a real estate gal, and so I have a love for preservation and reuse and mixed use. So when I start looking at spaces, I'm always looking at something that was something else. What can I make it now? And that tends to be the storefront, the church,
Right.
the single level office space, those kinds of places where folks would have been going to as a destination anyway. So I agree with you. It's good to be walkable because, you want to be able to walk out with the folks you just made a great connection with and have lunch.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, our first building, the first space in Felton, is in the third oldest building in the town. It was a dance hall originally, and we tend to look at old bank buildings.
Yeah, those are great.
This was an old bank building, in later years. So, and then in Santa Monica, we're at 3110 Main Street, which is where Schwarzenegger used to own the building, and his old restaurant, Shotzi's, like in the courtyard with us. In fact, we have events with the bar all the time. So,
that gives me an idea. I better be near a nice restaurant so I can get some of that cross promotion thing going on.
Yeah, we do this pay it forward event down there. So it's really fun. We get 700 people sign up for it. We get like 300, 350 showing up. And the pay it forward thing is you can come, you can have a free ticket. All you have to do is tell us how you're going to help somebody else succeed.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
People love it. And then we put up these big cards. In fact, we showed this off at GC. We get big Post-its, the 5x8 Post-its in real bright colors, put them up all over the windows and the walls, and then people write on there what they want to give. And then we attach an envelope, same bright color kind of thing under it, and people just put their business cards in who want that,
that thing.
Yeah, that thing. And so,
all right, just so you know, stealing that idea.
Yeah, that's great. And then we have people, and we do it on Eventbrite, and we have one time we had a guy whose business was doing these mixed drinks in packages.
Yeah.
So he poured margaritas for everybody, and somebody else was just starting a business making brownies, and he had brownies for everybody. And somebody else, the next one that's coming up in a week or few weeks.
Yeah.
There's a couple venture capitalists who are coming to advise people, and so it
very
shows
cool.
up your space, but in the best possible light as part of the community and helping others.
I am such a lucky gal. I'm just saying that out loud because I like to count my blessings. I've met so many wonderful people like you who have fabulous ideas. I have to think that my space is going to be like the bomb from the minute it opens because
absolutely.
When I incorporate all this good wisdom, how could it fail? Like, I love that idea to pay it forward and the community outreach component to it, right? You don't necessarily have to be a member to get what the organization, the community has to give to you. I love that.
Yeah. I should offer this, even though, fine anyway, but we have some people who are now wanting to set up satellites in their communities.
Mm-hmm.
And we can help if that's ever of interest. And then, a lot of the stuff in the pieces that we have already done, the marketing people that we have, then can just work for you too. But,
I'm so glad you mentioned that because that's where Felina's going, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's a very, very viable model because not everybody wants to be the pioneer in the way that you and Felina and I were willing to step out and say, I don't know that much about it, but I'm going to make it work. Other folks will embrace the idea but may not have the expertise or the wherewithal to put the resources in place. And so you're giving them a great opportunity to be part of this in a way that's much simpler.
Yeah, right. So, Nina, are you looking at doing this as, like Felina, mostly open space and Wi-Fi?
I think I am looking at doing a hybrid. And here's why I say that.
Yeah.
Is because when I've been doing my initial research with my target market, I get a funny bounce back. And the bounce back is that I like the concept, I need my stuff.
Right.
So I'm trying to manage that tension because I think the open concept really works great for the excitement, the energy, the buzz. And that's really where your community is going to be centered. People are going to come to the open space to meet and see each other because that's where the kitchen's at.
Right, exactly.
But that at the same time, I want to be responsive to and make folks comfortable who want to have some private space with a locked drawer and their stuff there. So it's the balance.
Yeah, and that's what we've done. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
So like the workstations and the private offices all have hardwired connections and locking storage.
Yeah.
If you have like a 12-day a month plan or an unlimited, you get like 12-day a month, you get half the storage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in order to build a community though, we've kind of built out those spaces around the central cafe space.
Yeah.
And then we always do 2 cafe spaces.
Ah.
So one is quiet, one is loud. One has library rules.
Yes.
And then we always put in phone cubes. We know the size of the desk space that people need and the size of the workstations and proper sizes of offices and all that kind of stuff. And then we make the furniture very flexible.
Yep.
Did you go to our Los Gatos site at all?
I have not been there yet. But I think I can actually get to that one because I was down in Silicon Valley to give a gig the other day. So it's not that far, right? About an hour?
From
Oakland?
From Oakland?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I get to Santa Cruz in an hour.
Okay. So a little longer, maybe.
No, it's less.
Less? Okay.
I don't know, 45 minutes.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, maybe I'll come down and say hi because I'm close enough.
I actually was talking, I would love you to, and I'll meet you there.
Okay.
I was actually talking about online. So if you want to take a quick look at Satellite Los Gatos, you can see the kind of layout just on our website. So
there you go. I was thinking about the old-fashioned way. I can just see it online.
Well, you can see it much better in person.
That's true.
We did make, we have virtual tours that are built for 3 of the sites. They're not uploaded yet. Okay. And that's kind of a good way if travel is difficult for people.
To see the site. Yeah, I think that having that sort of mock-up and be able to tour the site visually
Yeah.
helps people grab the idea. Because when you're just saying this is what it would be like, but you don't have anything to show, it's hard for somebody to really embrace that.
Yeah.
So good idea.
What space are you close to picking up space?
I have a space picked out already. I'm loving it to death. It's just that, as I do more of my research, I realize that the 10,000 foot space that I really love is probably too big to start in. Everyone I've talked to so far has said we started in 2,000 square foot or less.
You can't. Can I disagree with that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't make the numbers work in 2,000 square feet. Are you going to be running it yourself?
I'm going to be running it myself at the same time I run my consulting practice.
Okay, are you going to have an admin there?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you run the numbers, I mean, we've got pretty good spreadsheets set up for how to calculate the whole thing out.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to, help with any of that. But,
Thank you.
Yeah. In 2,000 square feet, I mean, just think about the numbers yourself. Do up a spreadsheet. You cannot make that pay.
Yeah.
Okay. We did do a very small one in Los Gatos. We did 2,500 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
And even in a town of just 30,000, we've maxed it out.
Wow.
We've outgrown it. I would think, though, where you are, if you could start with 4,000 square feet and grow into 10, you're going to need the 10.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to be able to work with this landlord because it's actually divided space. So, use the bottom and then move up to the top when we get there. That would be perfect.
Yeah. You think you might be able to?
You know what? I don't know. I feel like I need to have much more in place before I go to the landlord and say this is what we're doing, which is the reason for the Chronicles. I want to make sure I'm considering everything that the landlord would consider before I go there.
Okay. So you've been a broker, right?
I have not been a broker. I started my career as a lawyer, so I was on the other side of the fence. And really commercial properties and doing real estate legislation. So I know about doing that stuff. I bought plenty of houses, thank goodness.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not a broker.
Okay. So yeah, I'm frequently on the other side of the table as an investor in commercial property, as an owner of commercial property. So yeah, there's about the free rent that you're going to negotiate. You're going to negotiate. They're going to ask you for a personal guarantee for the whole thing.
No. See, the lawyer in me says no. You can't. Lawyer, no personal guarantee. Company guarantee, fine.
Say that one more time.
So I'm happy to give assurances, but no personal guarantees. For me, that's a little bit bad business. But I'm sure they're going to ask.
Depending on the location, I don't know of a landlord who's going to go with a brand new business, other than me, who's going to go with a brand new business and not require a personal guarantee.
Okay.
So
good to know.
Yeah.
It'll definitely be I might get pushed over on that, but I don't think I'm offering it up right off the bat.
Oh, no, you definitely shouldn't offer it. You should argue 7 ways to Sunday, but you
might have to, yeah.
You're going to have to. So then if you argue enough on that one, then the fallback is, okay, but I need it limited to 30,000 or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yep.
The other big questions that's going to come up is how much technology and what's the right technology. So a lot of co-working spaces just have Wi-Fi and they get cheap Wi-Fi. And then when they get enough people in,
T-line. You need a T-line, right?
Definitely, you do not want a T1.
No?
No.
Well, I'm getting an education, Barbara.
Yeah, a T1 is way too slow for today. It's nice to have. We started with a T1 line. And then our programmer came in and said, why are you doing this? You're paying 10 times the price for 1/10 of the bandwidth.
Wow.
Yeah, a T1 is just way too expensive and doesn't give you enough service. What it does give you is a guaranteed uptime. But you can handle that guaranteed uptime by having a failover, by having two forms. The other thing that people usually do is they put the whole place on Wi-Fi. Um, we did spend a bit more, but we do have every workstation and office on hardwired or Wi-Fi. And people really like that because some people still feel more secure having a hardwired connection.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of different things
I
like
could
that.
see that. I could
Yeah.
definitely see where that would make a big difference to someone who wasn't necessarily so tech savvy and
Right.
really just wanted to know that they were the most secure possible.
Also, a hardwired connection is going to be at least an order of magnitude faster. It's just going to, you know, I mean, I love having. I'm today not using my hardwired connection because I want to be sure I'm seeing what everybody else sees,
Right.
and just working on Wi-Fi, and you can see it's fine.
It is
The
fine.
other thing that you may want to have is like we have a phone system. We went through a physical. We start with a physical one.
Mm-hmm.
A whole PBX setup.
Yeah.
You could then have base in one location, but support all the locations. We're now using a VoIP system, and I've been able to get a pricing structure that works for co-work spaces.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically, we pay for, and we can add in we can provide service to other people too, but we pay for 5 lines, which is our concurrent call paths.
Okay.
And meaning you can have 5 people on at one time, and we've added to it since then. And then we can add an unlimited number of what are called DIDs, of phone numbers for people, and they cost us $3 a month.
So does that mean if I was in your space, I could have my dedicated phone number there?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's a big deal.
Yeah, we have a lot of people. So we've done a lot of work on all the technology pieces for this,
And you're packaging this up and showing people, right? Because
Yeah,
fabulous amount of information, things that people would not have thought about. I think this is
yeah,
a great service to
yeah,
offer.
yeah. So let me shut up and let you just, I want to hear more about what you're doing.
Well, I'm now like, we have more to think about, woman.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, I'm hoping that I will open the space sometime within the next 2 years.
Okay.
And so really this is the beginning of the research. I get more certain every day that it's the right thing for me to be doing because it uses all my talents at once.
Right.
And I love the fact that what I do for a living actually can help other spaces. Spaces need to have communication facilitators and mediators and folks to help build community. So it's kind of like the perfect job.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what you are is you're the pub owner then.
There you go. Yeah.
And it's basically a work pub. Another tricky piece is you'll have a lot of people who don't want the community.
Yeah.
And they certainly put no value on it when they're first becoming members.
Yeah.
They will put value on it later, the first time that a connection, a serendipitous connection is there.
Right. When they get the benefit.
Yeah.
And that's an important question to me because I've been going back and forth about the idea of, curating the community. And some people are like, well, I don't curate at all. Other people are like, yes, I have a strict curation policy and this is how we do it. And so I want to fall somewhere a little bit over to this side because I think communities are very healthy and can grow on their own if they have the right guidance to start.
Yeah, and because I was starting in a very small town, I don't believe in it. I believe it happens automatically.
Yeah.
It's more self-curation. And around us, there's, they're co-work spaces, and they make me want to gag. They're like, and we get members sometimes. We have people walk in, one said, "Yeah, I'm not cool enough for."
Oh, that breaks my heart.
Oh no, they were being
facetious. Okay.
Yeah, and then we've had other people come in and say, "Oh, I get it. This is blank blank for grown-ups." So, and I find some of the tone of some of the places just gagging. It's like we are just too cool. Are you good enough for us? We're
Yeah,
too cool for school, kind of stuff.
I
It's
definitely hear
like
what you're
that makes you
saying.
want to go the other direction.
When I first started approaching the community, I was so excited, but I remembered, as a good anthropologist will, you have to observe first before you go. So I
Yeah,
spent some time observing, and I initially got the sense that, oh, I don't know if I'm going to fit in because there's some pretty rigid rules about what it looks like. And I'm glad that I just ignored those first impressions
yeah,
and then pursued a little bit further, because once you get past what looks like the rule of this is what co-working is, you find out there isn't really a rule. People will make it up and do what they want.
yeah,
People are trying to make the container, which I applaud. Like, we have to have a container,
yeah,
but it's not so set. The insides don't have to be so set. They can be a lot more fluid, and that's what I like about the community.
yeah, yeah. I agree with all of that. I really
Yeah.
do. And that was the whole thing of us not. I didn't think we were co-working. You know.
See, there you go. But you clearly are. You're just
Yeah,
a different iteration of what the first thing was.
yeah. When we have not been successful in our original dream.
Okay, which was?
I wanted this, and what I cared about was to reduce commutes, keep people from having to, well, you're in the same area we
Yep.
are,
Yep.
not have to drive the Silicon Valley
Yep.
roads and stuff like that. Um, and I thought, because what I know are business to business sales, I thought that I would be selling to businesses for a place for their employees to work, so that their telecommuters
Yeah.
would have a place. That has not worked out. We have plenty of
Yeah.
telecommuters, but they're all paying for it themselves. Their employers are not paying for it. So I spent a lot of time in the first year or two making those calls on Adobe and Cisco, and
Yeah.
we have plenty of Cisco people here, but they're
Sure.
all paying for it themselves. That's going to change.
Yeah, I think so, because my understanding is the trend on the other side of shared workspace, which is the executive centers, are really now courting a lot of corporate clients who now are nodding yes, yeah, okay, we'll pay for our telecommuters to go there because we not only see the cost savings, but we want to get some of the innovation bump.
Right, right. And so that's part of why we looked at private spaces to a certain degree,
Yep.
because some of them wanted their people to be in an enclosed space.
Yeah. I can understand
Sorry, I'm
that.
just getting over something.
That's okay. I was at Next Space in Berkeley, and it's a very fluid and open space. But I could tell that there were a group of people who were from the same company,
Mhm.
doing their daily work, having their interactions. And I thought, I like that idea, but I kind of now feel like I'm intruding on their work day. So I would have wanted them to have an enclosed space if they were, they were a team. Not that
Yeah,
they were bothering me. It's just that it felt like I was eavesdropping.
yeah, yeah, right. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Should I tell you a funny next space story?
Yes.
So they started here too in Santa Cruz,
I
right?
didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. So Ryan and Jeremy, who were the guys who started. So Ryan's a friend. Jeremy is now, sort of more an
Yes.
acquaintance than a friend.
Okay.
But Ryan's was the mayor of Santa Cruz, and his family's been around a lot. And we've gotten together. We were talking about some other things, and casually mentioned this stuff. So we had just finished the $4,000 of picking the name and logo and getting all the like the consultant that I would never do now. And my husband goes Saturday morning, come down and look at the front page of the paper, and there's the whole thing with Next Space opening. And you want to know what name we had picked?
Oh no, really?
We were Next Office. We'd done everything around Next Office. So I called Ryan up. I said, "You won't believe this, And he came right, "Oh my God, you're kidding. You're kidding. Oh my God, I don't believe it. Oh my God." And I said, "Look, we can either be sister companies or we'll change our name because, you guys opened before we did." So
There you go.
yeah. And because we weren't doing really the same thing. They do have much more open, well,
Space. Yeah.
I think we've kind of focused on the technology a little more, because when I was going over there originally, you could walk in fact, some people are going to be putting a satellite in another town
Uh-huh.
where they had walked in there, and Nobody greeted them. They
Oh,
sat down, hung out for a while. Nobody even, and then they left. They didn't
didn't quite
actually.
get it. Wow, definitely was my experience at the Berkeley space. We got the warm greeting, we got the big tour.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so it was great.
I'm sure they're doing well. Where was this one? I think this one, they might have actually gone to Santa Cruz. No, no, I think they were in San Francisco. I love the people over there. They're great. Um, but they were like they hadn't connected everything to the printer. At one point, they were just letting people print free, which is nice. If somebody was only printing a couple copies or something. But we thought let's eliminate the question of the honor system. Let's just yeah, we all like each other and trust each other. But if you start from the beginning, where prints are this,
There's some expectation, right?
yeah, yeah,
No one should expect to get everything for free.
right, right,
So I'm going to ask you one last
sure.
question. And it's the Robert Lipton question. And you know Robert Lipton from the Actors Studio, right? Well, there's this TV program with Robert Lipton, and he is an interviewer, and he gets celebrities on, and he talks about their career and their past and their home life. And then he ends by asking them, what's your favorite curse word? And I liked the concept of the question, but I didn't want to be asking people what's their favorite curse word.
I have to think about that one.
Well, yeah, so you mull it over, but your surprise question is, what's the thing about you that would surprise someone if they knew?
Well, people who really know me know this, but I spent 3 years in a Zen Buddhist monastery. I used to live in Oakland when we started the monastery in Oakland.
Very cool.
And
Say
then
more about the monastery. How did that happen?
pardon me.
How did the monastery happen?
Oh, I had a friend from Germany who wanted me to come study Buddhism with her in San Francisco and Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
We moved the monastery over to Oakland from Zen Center. And then I had a friend from Palo Alto who wanted me to come study philosophy with her in Germany. So I had enough money to get to San Francisco and not to get to Germany. So that was how it happened. And then the other one is that I spent 8 years with no running water in West Virginia and, grew all my own food.
Wow.
Moved there with a couple babies and had a couple more. And, so.
Yeah. You are the original pioneer woman.
So those are the things that people wouldn't usually associate now.
Well, I will now, from now on, I will definitely do that. Barbara, it has been such a blast talking to you.
You too.
I hope that we're going to stay friends for a long time.
Yes, that would be fun.
Yes, it would. And that you'll come back on the Chronicles because they're going to be ongoing. There's always going to be something new to learn. And I know that you always have something good to share.
Oh, cool.
So if folks want to get in touch with you, how can they reach you?
They can reach me at B Sprenger, and that's BSPRENGER, at thesatelliteinc.com.
Very cool. If you guys are watching and you're anywhere near a satellite, go in and check them out. There's going to be more Women of Co-working Chronicles. Why am I having a hard time saying that today? More chronicles coming your way, so come back soon for the next one. I'm Dina Eisenberg of SpeakUpPowerfully.com saying be heard and prosper. Thanks, everybody.